Russia was significantly impacted during the global financial crisis. And in fact, you look at the domestic demand in Russia, it was very severely impacted because exports ended up being a net contributor to GDP growth, which was nevertheless down in high single digits. One of the reasons why Russia is particularly vulnerable is that it is not a particularly broadly based economy. There is a lot of commodity exposure there, particularly to hydrocarbons. And there has been in the past quite a lot of debt that is not immediately visible to participants in the market because it may be held by significant majority shareholders. And the perception of Russia as a risky place obviously means that people tend to withdraw their money relatively quickly when there are issues around the world. It's a little bit slower to get back on track than some of the other emerging markets economies, but nevertheless, there are clear signs that it is moving forward. If you look at investment, if you look at credit, these are definitely moving in the right direction. There is real wage growth in the country, and it's quite clear that there's a bit of positive momentum. And maybe it would have happened a little bit sooner if we hadn't had the weather and the food-related issues through the summer, but clearly, as of now, the Russians are pretty optimistic about their own situation. That's only been added to by things like the World Cup being awarded to Russia, which was a significant morale boost, and one company in particular was taken out by PepsiCo at a very healthy valuation, and that's indicated to people that there is attractiveness to the domestic story. Well, there's definitely, you have to take a view on the oil and gas around the world, the hydrocarbon pricing. That is key to Russia. It's a bit more complicated when you get down to the stock level because of the way that the tax system works in Russia. However, for Russia as a whole, with crude north of, let's say, $75, that generates roughly about $100 billion plus into the economy. And right now, the government is turning around and actually putting that into the economy rather than saving it up in some sort of rainy day or sovereign fund. So there is a lot of fiscal stimulus which has gone on in Russia. We expect that to lessen as time goes on. But one of the risks might be that they continue to be fiscally pretty loose, and it ends up being pro-cyclical in the sense of adding fuel to the fire. Politics, there's a 2012 election cycle. That's going to be key. And the policies at some of the big blue chip companies that have actually underperformed the emerging markets universe generally, that's going to be very interesting. The oil and oil tax and the gas pricing are keys going forward. So there's a lot of important policy decisions to be made, and that will very much affect Russia's outlook in the next year or so.